Did you know that every time you shuffle a deck of cards, it is most likely that that order of the deck has never once existed before in human history? This is because of the number 52 factorial. This is the amount of different possible combinations that you can shuffle a deck of 52 cards into, and this number is so incomprehensibly large. In other words, it is 52 times 51 times 50 times 49, etc. And it goes on all the way to 1. But this number is so big, it is bigger than the stars in the galaxy, bigger than the amount of grains of sand on the beach. And I just want you to keep this number in your mind, because what you're about to see might just surprise you. Okay, so as you can see, we have 2 decks of playing cards here, and both of which we can open and shuffle. I will let the spectator choose which one they want to shuffle. Let's say they want to shuffle the red deck. So I'll let them take the red cards out of the box. You can completely examine these cards as much as you'd like, but the spectator can give these a very fair mix. Once the cards are shuffled, I'm going to have the spectator generate a random number from these cards, and to do that, it'll be very simple. I just want you to cut a little pile like this, but it can be as big or as little as you would like. Don't let me influence you. But however many you cut, I want you to count how many cards you have in your hand and keep that as a secret number. And we will get back to that a little bit later, but I'll turn around because I don't want to see. So I'll let the spectator cut, and I'll turn my head because I don't want to see. But imagine the spectator is holding these cards, and they're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 cards. And then they can place the cards back, and now I can turn back around. I promise I have no idea how many cards you just cut. And now we're going to turn our attention back to the blue deck of cards, which has been sitting in the box the entire time. So let's go ahead, take a look at these cards. Remember, these also could have been shuffled by you, but these are the cards that we left inside of the box the entire time. And this is the order that they have been left in here. Now, the number you just chose, you can actually reveal it to me because now it will apply here. So the number they chose was 19. Okay, so I'm going to count to the 19th card in this deck, and we're gonna see where we land. So let's go ahead and remove 19 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. And we land right here at this card. And this card is the Ace of Clubs. Interesting. It could have been the 5 of Diamonds, 7 of Diamonds, 7 of Clubs. All of these cards would have been different, as you can see. But the Ace of Clubs is the 19th card in the deck. Now remember, you shuffled this deck completely yourself, and you also generated any random number that you wanted. Remember that number 52 factorial. Just keep that in mind. I want you to count to the 19th card in this red deck, and let's see what we find. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. We land right here at this card. That number, 52 factorial, the amount of different combinations you can shuffle a deck of cards into, I want you to see how every single card here, there is absolutely no coincidence between these cards. Every single one is completely different because they were both completely shuffled. However, from the number you randomly generated and the deck that you randomly shuffled and you dealt to this exact card, in the blue deck, we have the Ace of Clubs, and in the red deck, we also have the Ace of Clubs. An impossible coincidence.
The mind is led on, step by step, to defeat its own logic.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's trick, we are going to be learning one of my all-time favorite tricks as of late. This is just an incredible way to perform a coincidence effect using 2 decks of cards, and I think it's absolutely killer, and I cannot wait to show you guys how this works. So for this trick, you will need 2 decks of cards. The blue deck that I use here is a completely normal standard deck of cards that is completely shuffled. There is nothing set up or gimmicked about this deck. However, the red deck, on the other hand, is not a very normal deck of cards. It appears to be completely normal, and it can also be very shuffled. However, this deck is actually a marked deck of cards. If I riffle through the corners, you will see the markings on the corners flash by. This is actually the Butterfly and Bicycle collaboration deck, a very, very smart and devious marking system that I'm not going to teach you in depth, because if you want to learn how to read this marking system, you can learn it by purchasing the deck, and then you will get the tutorial for how to read the markings. But that's not what this tutorial is about. This tutorial is for the routine, but any marked deck that you own is completely fine. I just like to use the Bicycle one because it appears to be very normal along with the blue deck of cards. But both of these decks can be completely shuffled. There is no stack or order to either of these decks. So to begin this trick, I like to start with the presentation of talking about 52 factorial. And if you are a mathematician or someone who is good with numbers and odds and probability, then you will probably realize that what I was saying was complete bullshit. The odds of this trick are actually not 52 factorial. They are actually 1 in 52. That is all that is really happening in this trick. If you were to actually do this trick for real and to shuffle 2 decks of cards, the probability that a specific card will be located in the same position in both decks, that is just a 1 in 52 chance. And of course, you could say that to be truthful. However, I do like to use the 52 factorial presentation because it just adds so much more impossibility to the effect. And also, the spectators will totally buy into it as long as they're not like an actual, math professor, which I assume most people you're going to be performing to will not be. So you can very easily get away with saying all of this. But to start the trick, you're going to let the spectator choose which deck they want to shuffle. If they were to choose the red deck of cards, which is the deck that you technically want them to choose, then you're going to leave the blue deck in the box completely and just let them open the red deck and shuffle it. However, if they do want to use the blue deck, you're going to let them take the blue deck and give it a shuffle. And then what you're going to do is you are going to open the red deck and you are going to start shuffling the red deck yourself. And then you tell the spectator, here, we can even switch decks. And now you're going to switch the decks. So now you will have the blue deck, they will have the red deck, and now you can say, and now let's just continue with the trick. So essentially, it doesn't really matter which deck they choose in the beginning. They are going to be left with the red deck of cards. So once they've completely shuffled the red deck, here's the point in the trick where the marking system comes into play. Because what you're going to have the spectator do is cut the deck at any point, and they're going to count how many cards they cut. You do say that you are going to turn away when they are counting, but what you're going to do is you are still going to look at them while they cut the pile. And the reason you do this is because you need to look down at the top card of the deck and identify it, because this is going to be the card that you reveal in the end of the trick. So by looking at the markings, I know that this card is the 8 of diamonds, and I just need a very quick, 2 to 3 second glance to read the markings, and now I can turn away and tell the spectator to count the cards, and try not to make this very obvious that you're looking down and reading the markings. This all comes with practice, and also depends on the type of marking system you're using, because this does use some mental calculation, but there are other cards that you can read them and just instantly know what the card is, which will be a lot quicker. So it depends on the type of deck that you use, but now the spectator will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 cards, and now you tell them to place the cards back. And now basically you know what the card after the 18th position is. You know that that card is the 8 of diamonds. So now you're going to tell them to set the red deck aside, and now you are going to remove the blue deck, which may or may not have been shuffled beforehand, but either way, it doesn't really matter. A good tip I would give is, as you're opening the cards, to not open them and show the spectator the cards, because there is a possibility that the card you need, or the 8 of diamonds, will be on the face of the deck. So I like to open it towards myself in order to prevent that possibility of that card being seen. But in this case, I know I can freely show this because this is not the 8 of diamonds. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna spread through, showing the order of the deck, and all you're gonna do is find the 8 of diamonds and cull it and control it to the top of the deck. And I actually love this part of the trick so much because you can be very open about showing the cards and even culling the cards, because it's really not going to look that suspicious, especially since the spectator is not going to be keeping track of the 8 of diamonds. They have no idea that this card is going to be relevant at all. So even if they see you fumble with that 8 of diamonds for just a brief moment, it's going to completely fly by because they're not paying attention to the identities of these cards whatsoever. But now, once you've controlled that 8 of diamonds to the top of the deck, you now ask the spectator for their secret number that they are remembering. They're going to tell you 18, and now what you're going to do is you're going to second deal until you get to the 18th card. So second dealing, I've done many tutorials on this, but this is the way I like to do it. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and I actually will deal 18 cards face up on the table. I'm not going to stop at the 18th card. I'm going to deal the 18th card down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the next card down. So technically, this is going to be the 19th card in the deck. Trust me, spectators are not going to notice this at all. Just say, we're going to remove 18 cards. So now that you've removed 18 cards, the next card down will be the card that you look at. And that is really the end of the trick right there, because now the spectator takes the deck that they completely shuffled, completely mixed by themselves, and the number that they randomly generated. They can hold the cards, they can deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You tell them to stop at 18 and to take a look at the next card down, and impossibly it will match. One thing I like to do before the reveal is I like to circle back to the 52 factorial presentation, and I will remind the spectator that all of these cards are completely different and there is no coincidence between these two cards. And hopefully you are right. There might actually be a genuine coincidence between some of these cards, but it's very, very likely that there will not be. So I like to show about 3 or 4 different cards just to reiterate that this is a completely impossible coincidence that would happen. And then it just hits so hard when they see that the cards will be perfectly matching. But yeah, that is the trick right there. I absolutely adore this trick. I think it is so incredibly deceptive and clever. And even though you're hyping it up with the 52 factorial line, and even though that's not the actual mathematical probability of this trick, the spectators will think that it is, and they'll walk away being incredibly amazed and fooled. And yeah, that is the trick. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you guys think, and if you perform it, let me know how it goes. I do think this one will get incredible reactions. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and see you guys for the next video. Bye.